Hey, what's good, y'all? I know y'all know what time it is, right? Yep, it is. It is time to focus, LBK. Welcome to episode 43 of the Focus LBK show. This is Robert Jenkins, and we're coming to you with a little out and about type of information, a little what's going on type of information for the week of 30 July. Or I should say July 30th, my military showing right there. I was going to say 30 July 2024. But guess what? Either way, we got July 4th coming up and everybody is, I'm sure, looking forward to that. I'm going to talk a little bit about that at the end of the show. But before we get into that, of course, I'm going to let y'all know what's going on. Looks like here we got the 2024 Citywide Back to School Bash with Texas Tech University. That's going to be Saturday, August 3rd. At 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock p.m. at the Lubbock Memorial Civic Center. Oh my God. I didn't read this right here and looked at it and realized this event is going to be huge. I bet everybody in Lubbock going to be up there. Saturday, August 3rd, back to school bash at the Civic Center with Texas Tech University. You know why they're going to be there, because it say what to expect. You can get your immunizations. They're going to have food vendors. They're going to have fun games, school supplies, backpacks, community resources, haircuts, and more. And guess what? Everything is free. That's right. Everything is free, from haircuts to shots to backpacks to whatever else. And not only that, you can get a free city bus pass to attend the event. So if you ain't got a way to get there, you do got a way to get there. Catch the city bus and roll on up there. It's going to be free. Note that children must be present to receive that free backpack. All right. Now, that's the 2024, I like to say 2024 Citywide Back to School Bash with Texas Tech University, Saturday, August 3rd, from 2 to 6 p.m. at the Lubbock Memorial Civic Center. As always, we got the flyer right down yonder. Now, a little before that August 3rd deal, we got the kids fishing derby put on by 100 Black men of West Texas. And that is Saturday, July 13th at May Simmons Park, and that's going to be from 7A to 2P. That's right, baby. And I'm telling you what, that was a good time. I went to the one last year, and I actually did a little video on it and stuff. Matter of fact, I'll probably put that video right down here so y'all can see it. It's a real good time. It's real inspirational and educational. You're supposed to go out there and fish with your kids. And notice we said the kids fishing derby. Like Reverend Hankson said, he was giving a speech when he was warming up the crowd before the derby last year. He say, it's a kids fishing derby. The emphasis on the word kids. All y'all grown folks that was out there last time snatching up them big old catfish. Yeah, bring a kid with you this time and snatch up some more big old catfish, all right? But don't just be like catching them by yourself. We know you know how to fish. The whole point is to teach a kid how to fish. And again, that's on Saturday, July 13th, 2024 at May Simmons Park. And y'all know where that's at, MLK and Canyon Lake Drive, 7A to 2P. Parking can be kind of long and stretched all down the block. So I get there while it ain't hot. Get there in the morning before it get hot. You know what I'm saying? That's that fishing derby on July 13th. That same day, on July 13th, but later on in the day, guess what we got? We got the Cap Rock Jazz Festival. I think you can still get your tickets. I'm going to put the link down here in the description or down here in the show notes. Got the Roots Historical Arts Council led by Miss Shirley Green. Uh-oh, my dryer just went off. Y'all can tell it's not actually Monday, because we over here drying clothes. Y'all might not have heard that. I probably should have just kept it to myself. Anyway, got that Cap Rock Jazz Festival going on, LBK. That is a good time, put on by Miss Shirley Green and the Roots Historical Arts Council. It's going to be up there at the Helen DeVitt Jones Auditorium over there on 4th Street in Indiana, right across the street from Covenant and all that. Man, it's a great time. The dinner starts at 5 and the concert starts at 7. I think the tickets is like $75 for the dinner, and so I think it's $100 for the dinner and the concert. Anyway, double check me on this link down here. You can go right there to Eventbrite and all that good stuff and get your tickets. I'm gonna be there. I know me and my crew gonna be there. We're gonna be jamming to some of that jazz. We're gonna be making some movies, taking some pictures, talking to some people. We're gonna be doing it all. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how we do. So make sure you get on out to that Cap Rock Jazz Festival. Another good thing coming up from Teresa Wilson over there at the Patterson Library. They're going to be having story time. Patterson Library summer story, not just any old story time, summer story time. Tuesdays at 11:30 a.m. That's every Tuesday, look like at 11:30 a.m. And the special host is going to be the Lubbock Matadors soccer team. Word. Some young folks giving back to the young folks. You know what I'm saying? Patterson Library, summer story time, Tuesdays. Ongoing event. Not Tuesday, but Tuesdays, 11:30 a.m. Join us for music, crafts, soccer, fun, and story time. Patterson Library also having that left to right book club. I'm speaking of left to right. Let me turn this thing sideways so I can see this old man eyes. Boy, them old man eyes. There you go. Left to right book club. Saturday, July 27th, 2 p to 3 p. Patterson Branch Library, ages 18 and up. This is for grown folk. They're going to discuss We Are All the Same in the Dark by Julia Haberlin. It's a book called We Are All the Same in the Dark. That sounds pretty provocative, okay? I don't know what that's about, but I got some ideas, though. Check that out. That's that's going to be Saturday, July 27th from 2 p to 3 p at the Patterson Branch Library. Left to Right Book Club. And y'all know that's at 1836 Parkway Drive. Got another thing going on in the Hub City. This is coming up in October, but they already advertising. They're trying to get you out there. It is the Hub City Renaissance Fair, a program of Lucas. It's going to be Saturday, October 19th, 2024. Now, when I think of Renaissance Fair, I'm like, I think of women out there with they costumes on and men dressed like knights. They fair maiden costumes, I guess is what you call it. For some reason, I think of beer steins, even though that's Oktoberfest, but this is in October, so that's probably why I'm thinking of that. And I think of big turkey legs and jousting. Now, I don't know if all that's going to be going on at this Renaissance Fair, but I do know that they would like us to show up and participate. And we're going to probably go to that too, because I got the fam, I'm a family man. I like to take my family out, man, and just do things with them. It ain't even got to be no big special things you do with them. The time you spend is special. So that's the way we like to roll in the Jenkins household, Jenkins clan. Like to get out there and mix and mingle a little bit. So we'll probably be there at the Renaissance Fair. Just remember, that's going to be Saturday, October 19th, 2024. Now, I think we have touched on that Cap Rock Jazz Festival, but I'm going to mention it again. Why? Because it's a really good time, and I really encourage y'all to get out there. Some great world-class musicians. You can look on the flyer down here, but it's going to be headed up by Tom Braxton. They're going to have a singer and a guitar player there, too. Really, really, really good time. When we went in December, man, that food was delicious. The music was exquisite. The fellowship was dope. The situation, the guests, the venue, everything was dope. It was just a really good show, and it wasn't that expensive. I urge y'all to get on out there and peep it out. You know what I'm saying? So we done talked a little bit about what's going on. And like I said, we got the 4th of July coming up. And you know what? Thinking back to, we do Words of the Elders on this show, and we're going to definitely come with some new content on that facet or on that front. Before too long. We got our new venue over there at the Community Revitalization Center. So we're going to be having some people coming through. We're going to be doing some recording. But thinking back to some of the words of the elders, some of our real true elders, like Frederick Douglass, he had that whole speech, that oration, where he asked, what to the slave is the 4th of July? Well, that was a dope speech. I read it years ago, and it was very applicable and appropriate at the time that he made it. But guess what? Today, we are not those kind of slaves. We are, I believe, slaves in a different way, but we are not physically enslaved. So when he asked what to the slave is the 4th of July back then, that was appropriate. It's a whole different discussion today, and we'll get into that some other time. But I want to say what to me is the 4th of July. What is the 4th of July to me? And ask you that too. What is the 4th of July to you? Everybody really, I think people like the 4th of July. It's one of the biggest holidays in the United States. Christmas, Thanksgiving, 4th of July. These are some of the biggest travel days, and certainly people spend a lot of money barbecuing and stuff like that. I got great memories from the 4th of July. And, it kind of brings up that whole question, though. Like I say, what to the slave is the 4th of July? What to you is the 4th of July? Because there's so much controversy around American history today. I don't know why. No country is perfect. We started out, we had slavery. The United States and Britain are two countries that abolished slavery, by the way, on the world stage. See, they don't tell you, people always talking about, they don't teach black history in school. They trying to take black history out of school. Well, I don't think they've ever had real good black history in the schools, for example, because they get too partisan with it. And if they tell you the truth about black history, when we talk about slavery was everywhere on the planet at the time. Every race known to mankind had slavery from the dawn of mankind up until the 1800s. They don't teach you that in school. Frederick Douglass talking about what to the slave is the 4th of July. The 4th of July would have meant nothing to most of the people on the planet, because most of the people on the planet was some kind of serf or slave. Some of them were, and it was just as bad as our slavery too. Don't people say, well, America's slavery was better? No, America's slavery wasn't worse. It was just the same. Islamic slavery, we don't ever talk about, because we talk about what to the slave is the 4th of July, right? I'm going to update that in a minute and tell you what 4th of July is to me, but I done got on a tangent. I got to finish it. I got to finish my train of thought out. It's got to reach on down to the depot and pull in and arrive before we can get off. You know what I'm saying? To beat a dead horse. And why would anybody want to beat a dead horse? But anyway, what to the slave is the 4th of July. When they teach you American history in school, they try to act like we're the only people that had slavery. Everybody on the planet, at one point, they people was enslaved. And it was just as bad as American slavery, if not worse. It was, people don't like to hear this, it was white Christian men, Europeans and Americans, Englishmen and Americans, who ended slavery. We're the ones, the forefathers of this country are the people that were grappling with slavery and said, man, we can't do it no more. We're supposed to be Christian. The forefathers, some of the forefathers, I think his name is William Wilberforce, is a reverend over in Britain, 1836's time frame, about the time Texas was being formed over here about the time Germans were immigrating to Texas over here, the German hill country and all that, 1830s. I think it was Reverend Wilberforce in England was like, yo, we can't have slavery. We said we Christians. We said we believe all men are created in God's image. That's what started ending slavery. Christianity is the religion that started ending slavery. Christian thought, the thought process that was inspired by the fact that God gave his only begotten son and we were made in his image, and he supposedly set us all free from our sins. This is the kind of thought process that began to percolate and bubble in the mind of Englishmen and Americans in the 1800s that eventually led to the ending of slavery in that country and in this country. In fact, England was so serious about ending slavery that they committed what would probably today be billions of dollars and their naval forces and sent them all over the Mediterranean, all over their colonies, saying, look here, it ain't going to be no slaves no more. So they were raiding slave ships. When slave ships would come from the United States and go over to Africa, wherever those slave ships were coming from, at a certain point, Britain said, nope, you ain't going to be no slaves coming out of our colonies. We don't do slavery no more. And they were shooting and sinking other slave ships. Slave ships would kill their cargo and throw them overboard. They cargo, kill the enslaved Africans that they had on board and throw them overboard because they saw the British coming and knew the British was going to bust their butt. You know what I'm saying? That's how serious the British was about ending slavery. Did they teach you that in school, by the way? America, we got the thing. Y'all, I'm a military veteran. I wasn't a Marine. I was Air Force, but the Marines service song, up in the Air Force, we got the Off We Go Into the Wild Blue. You got that right there. Well, the Marines got their own version, and I don't know how it go because I wasn't no Marine. I wasn't no no Marine. But it started off something like, from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. What do they mean by the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli? This talks about engagements, battles that the U.S. Marines starting back in the 1700s had at different points around the globe. When they talk about the halls of Montezuma, that's talking about fighting down in Mexico. When they say from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, Libya, that's because there were pirates who were slavers, who were African slavers, Muslims, by the way, who engaged in some of the worst slavery the planet has ever seen against Africans. They try to turn us against Christianity, but Islam was a fierce driver of the slave trade, and they were brutal with their slavery. They didn't want slaves mixing with their population, Africans, enslaved Africans mixing with their Muslim population. They castrated men routinely. Y'all watched Django Unchained when they was trying to castrate him. That happened here too, but the Muslims did it to every black male. They don't talk about that too much. Matter of fact, we love the Muslims because Malcolm X was Muslims. We try to get our name. We try to make our names Muslim and stuff. And we try to say the Christians was enslaving people. Yeah, Christians did enslave people. Jews enslaved people. I got a book on the shelf that's I've read a little bit of. I'm still reading. And it's called The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews. And it's by the Nation of Islam Research Unit. And it's a widely acclaimed book because they do solid scholarship on. You can think what you want about the Nation of Islam. They actually do some solid scholarship from what I understand. And they show how they always say in historical texts that these people that were slavers, the slave ship owners and captains and stuff like that, they say that they were Portuguese, Spanish. It's like, yeah, they were Portuguese and Spanish, but they were Jewish people from Portugal and Spain or wherever wherever England or the United States or wherever they might have been from. But a lot of them were Jewish people. And you read the actual notices and the documents and stuff, and it'll attest that. It'll attest to that. So the point I'm making is everybody on the planet engaged in slavery. So we can stop castigating the United States, talking about we a white supremacist nation when we and Britain are in fact the two nations who made the modern effort to eradicate slavery. So we go back to what to the slave is the 4th of July. And then, like I said, that meant something when Frederick Douglass wrote it because people were still enslaved. In this country now, we're enslaved by debt. Nobody recognizes that. We're enslaved by the Federal Reserve. How you buy your house, but you never actually own it because if you don't pay taxes on it, you're going to always lose that house. You got the what is that organization? The Northwest Legal Aid of Northwest Texas. They put on these seminars about how to keep your house in the family. One of the reasons you can't keep your house in the family when grandma die is because you got to pay taxes on it. But do you ever ask yourself, why do you have to pay taxes on a house that's already paid off? You made an agreement, or grandma and them made an agreement with the bank to pay off a certain amount of money to get that house. Once that's paid off, do you not own that home? No, you don't own that home when you pay it off. Don't pay them taxes, your house gone. That ain't ownership, is it? That's renting. That's the type of slavery we're under now. We're under a whole different type of slavery that nobody really wants to talk about because it raises uncomfortable questions about it. But you say what to the slave is the 4th of July? It's a lot of things. I mean, I have pleasant memories of the 4th of July. In fact, I have beautiful memories of the 4th of July. We used to have family reunions on the 4th of July. And we used to travel out to Los Angeles. We used to me and pops, moms and pops. And at one point, my little brothers, when they came along much later. But we used to get in the Cadillac or whatever, the Thunderbird, and hit that road, hit that I-10 through El Paso and go out to Los Angeles. And back in them days, it was a 24-hour drive because the speed limit was 55. But I can't drive 55. When they changed it to 75, man, on them highways, it literally cut hours off. It became a 19-hour trip instead of a 24-hour trip. Trip, ain't it? It was a trip. But we also discovered, going out to them family reunions out in California, we discovered Cloudcroft, New Mexico. Now, if you have listened to this show, you know that me and lovely wife just had our 22nd anniversary, deuce. And we went to Cloudcroft, New Mexico. It's a quaint little village, and it was so relaxing up there. They're 9,000 feet above stress level, according to their motto. But Cloudcroft was so relaxing, we going back for Christmas. We're going to take the family this time for Christmas, yeah. But anyway, we're slaves of our own mind, and our slaves in our own time at this way, but not slavery, not physical slavery back the way we used to be. So what to the slave, to what to this slave is the 4th of July. I'm a free man. I'm struggling to be a free man. And 4th of July has always been fun for me. Going out to Los Angeles, LA area, Rialto, California, staying with Angie and them. Paris and Lee, all my family, Leonard, Tanya, Lamont, all them cats, many of whom have passed away now. But that's what the 4th of July is to me. You know, a lot of people get holidays twisted to me. I mean, to each his own. Some people don't celebrate this and don't celebrate that. And I always feel like that's sad because I don't celebrate the holiday. I don't celebrate. What do we read the Declaration of Independence on the 4th? No. These holidays to me are just reasons to make sure that we get together with the family. That's what, to me, the 4th of July is, just like any other holiday. It's a reason to make up a good, because nowadays you need an excuse to be with the family. So, okay, well, let's use these holidays as excuses to be with the family. If we're going to do a family reunion on the 4th of July out in Cali or down in Bryan, Texas, like we used to do from time to time, or people don't celebrate Christmas. Okay, well, that's cool. You don't celebrate Christmas, but are you really celebrating Christmas? Or are we just getting together with the family and eating some Christmas food, some ham and stuffing and whatever, and watching the game and chilling? Do we really even know anything about the Pilgrims? You celebrating Thanksgiving? You ain't celebrating Thanksgiving. You have a vague idea in your mind, if you're like me. At least I do. I can't speak for you, I guess, but I can speak for me. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. Nowadays, most people, when you think of Christmas, you don't think of Christ Mass. You don't think of the Mass, the religious service that you used to have on the birthday of Christ. It's just Christmas. And that's a sad commentary in some ways, but nonetheless, people don't celebrate this and don't celebrate that. Man, so really to me is they're just saying they don't take advantage of opportunities to be with the family. And that's what the 4th of July is to me. We're starting a new 4th of July tradition here. I say we're not starting. My little brothers, I got several little brothers, and they already had this tradition going on. They got a farm out here in the family. One of our family members does, and they actually we can pop firecrackers there because it's outside the city limits, and it ain't nothing to burn over there. It's just dirt. So we go out there and pull up a bunch of coolers and them stadium seats, man, them folding chairs or whatever you call them, and man, we enjoy. Pull the cars up and the kids go out in the field and pop them firecrackers, man, and we just have a good time. And I think, do we be having food there? I only done this 2 times because y'all know I've been gone. That's why I say I didn't start this holiday. I'm just jumping in the rotation. I'm just getting in where I fit in. We already got us a little family tradition built in. Them Jenkins boys then already hooked it up. And it's fun too, man. And like I say, it ain't got to be no big to-do-ty. We literally sit at a farmhouse at the edge of a cotton field and pop firecrackers and drink some beer. Eat some chips and stuff. That's what we do. That's what, to me, the 4th of July is. It's another opportunity to spend time with family, spend time with friends, have some food and drink and good times, or as my Aunt Jean would say, to keek and cock. That mean laugh. Keek, cock. Just cracking up and laughing with the family. That's what the 4th of July is. And you do always have to keep freedom in the back of your mind. I think we lose sight of freedom. We don't even talk about freedom no more. You know, one of the reasons I think we don't talk about freedom anymore is because freedom is hard, and freedom means it's your responsibility. Freedom comes with a whole host of responsibilities that I think half the time we'd rather not even have. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother podcast right there. I tell you what, LBK, I don't know if y'all celebrate the 4th of July, or if you do or don't, or will or won't, but man, please don't pass up the opportunity to get out there and be with your family and your friends and your loved ones and spend some time and make it do what it do. Because it's just a wasted opportunity to be with your loved ones otherwise. That's the way I see it. Anyway, this has been the Focus LBK show for the week of June 30th, 2024. Urge y'all to enjoy some time off if you got it. Get out there and pop them firecrackers. You ain't supposed to pop them in the city limits, I don't think. But anyway, I see everybody popping them in the city limits. So I guess do what you gonna do. I can't stop you. But whatever you do, be safe, enjoy yourself, and man, and maybe do give a thought to what freedom means and what to the slave is the 4th of July. What to you is the 4th of July? I done told y'all what it is to me, and I'm going to enjoy it. So, y'all take it easy. I'm going to say peace, and y'all enjoy the 4th of July.
Step into the stadium. Eyes wide, time flies, life like palladium. Value in the moments that be fleeting in our face, and then they gone. Just before you reach your goal, they call you back home. Alone on the